Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Red Hot Mic. I am your host, G. Alpha Palmer, and welcome back. Back to our new format and some different things that we're going to be doing, but with the same results. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, G. Alpha Palmer, once again, and you see the topic for the broadcast, and so it's time for us to ruminate, elevate, and to activate. Please subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell if you would. We would appreciate it highly. Well, I have my co-host with me that holds my hat, Hetty Lamar, who always holds my hat for me, and I always have to get my hat. And here we go. It's time for us to get ready to do what we do. So I want to welcome you. It's time for us to do what we do. And today we're going to do a little bit different than we have in the past. We're going to implement using some other technologies and for us to get across a specific message that we want to get across. If you would, we're going to put into the across the bottom. We're going to put across the bottom. We're going to add our tagline. I want you to be able to see that as we go on. So there it is for you, going across the bottom there. I'm glad that you're with us one more time. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. But we're here. We're here once again, and we thank you for joining us on the Red Hot Mic. Now, I don't know if you can see me because I think I've got a light that is really becoming distracting. Let's get rid of that. Okay. How about that? That's better, I think. Okay, all right, so it's the Red Hot Mic. One more time, and I'm glad that you're with us. Candle evening, we're gonna bypass tonight. We're gonna implement it again because we're gonna try to do some other things as well. So, if you would, we're gonna still go with our fragrance of the evening, and our fragrance, as we always do, we try to go to the person that we give a lot of credit to, and that's Mr. Kevin Samuels, and we want to recognize him as the Godfather, and he is the Godfather of the Red Pill, and we want to just give him credit where credit is due. And so when we do this, and as we do the Candle of the Evening, it is in homage to Mr. Kevin Samuels. So tonight we're going to look at a new fragrance that I just received, and it's called Ash by Ashley Benson, and it's called East 12th Street. East 12th Street, and it immerses yourself in my New York City through notes of delicate rose, damask, intoxicating black cedar, and zesty orange, electrifying, edgy, and unforgettable. And it's again with orange, cedar, and rose damask. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Let's see what we get here, because you know how we do. I don't test the fragrances unless you're here with me, and that's because I think it's important that we test them together. I'm trying a new. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see what we got here, because we have a nude dispenser here. So let's see if we can get this thing to work right. And lock it in. And we're supposed to be able to. Yeah. I'm not seeing how it works. I should put this before we came on air. But I didn't. Oh well. So I can't tell you what this particular fragrance is like. So maybe the next time. So we're gonna move on and we're just going to move on. And so we told you what the fragrance is about. But it's Ash from Ashley Benson, East 12th Street. You might want to check it out yourself. And let me know what you think of it. Listen, it's been a while. It's been a while. A lot's going on. And doing a lot of work. And I'm glad to have you back. And glad to be back. Surely, I'm glad to be back. So, as we always do, one of the things that we try to always do is to come on board and to what we want to do is we want to add our extra camera, and we want you to be able to see it, because we know that it is time for us to do our wheel, our answer wheel that we do. And with the answer wheel, what we try to do is give Spirit the opportunity to speak to some of the things that let's change that music. Let's change this music. That's the music we want. So the answer wheel is designed for us to allow, you can tell it's been a while, can't you? It's time for the answer wheel. And the answer wheel allows Spirit, the universe, to speak to us relative to something that we may be experiencing, going through, and helps us to give answer to what it is that we're going through. And that's always a good thing, because when we do that, we get rid of some of this light. We can get rid of some of it. There we go. And when we give the universe the opportunity to speak to us, a lot of times we get answers that we maybe were experiencing or have known, or maybe sometimes it's not. Maybe something that we weren't expecting. And so what we do is we give the universe an opportunity to speak specifically to you. And like we do on the answer wheel, we give the answer wheel a turn, and we have 6 answers on the answer wheel. Also, you see one of our books as well, and also one of our things that you can buy. You may not be able to see it real well, but it's there too. And so the answer wheel again gives you 6 answers, and it's either yes, maybe, definitely, no way, try again, or ask a friend. And so what we do is we give the answer wheel a turn, and what normally happens is the answer wheel will stop and give us an answer. What is it that you're experiencing? What is it that you're having trouble getting an answer to? What is it that you're perplexed about and you need an answer relative to something in your life? Maybe it's a situation or even a person. And so the answer wheel is designed for you to begin to hopefully ask someone. And the answer wheel answer is definitely what? Well, definitely whatever it is that you're questioning the universe about. The universe is saying definitely that is what you need to do. That is, and some of us have an inkling. Some of us have an idea, but we just need a confirmation sometimes. And so here's the confirmation for you. The universe is saying definitely to you. If you have some inkling of an idea of what you should do or what you may want to do, the universe is saying definitely, you ought to go ahead and do that. Okay? So with that, knowing that you can go ahead and do it, comes the assurance that it's all right, that it's going to work out. It's the best decision for your life. Now, it's important to understand this, that whenever you make a decision, whenever you do something, it should not harm other people. It should never harm other people. If it harms other people, then you know that that is not spirit. That is not the universe. Because the universe does not look to harm people. The universe doesn't look to set you above someone else, put you in competition with someone else. We're not in competition. Never in competition. You have your destiny and they have theirs. Never get it mixed up. Never try to do what someone else is doing. But definitely know what you're supposed to do and do that. Not in competition, right? Not in competition, not comparing, but know that you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Definitely is your answer today. Well, I'm glad that you're tuned into the Red Hot Mic, a place where you're able to illuminate, a place where you're able to elevate, and where you are able to activate the things that we're talking about. You know, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on right now. And what we need to do is we need to understand that not only is there a lot going on, but whenever there's a lot going on, there's a lot of answers that are available. There's a lot of answers available. So, with Red Hot Mic, this edition of Red Hot Mic, we're going to address something that's going on right now. And for some of us, it may be something that we maybe hold as a problem area. Some of us may see it as a new area of liberation and freedom. And some of us may see it as something that is used or being used to destroy a mass of people. So here's what I want to talk about. A little while ago, the NAACP has an annual award show. And the annual award show is designed to recognize different aspects in our community, culture, and climate as people of color. So, what I want to do is I'm going to get rid of the music. Can I get rid of the music? And so, some of you are going to have some issues with this because
I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
So you may have some issues with what we're going to talk about. But this NAACP award show comes annually. And when it comes, it brings some awards to people that are that have been recognized for different things that they've done or different things that they've been a part of. Let me get some things out of the way here for us. And so this particular session, this particular image award, is a award that went to Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union for their battling for the rainbow community. Now, when I talk about the rainbow community, I'm talking about LGBTQIA, Q, or whatever. I lose count of all the letters. So that's why I use rainbow community. Not as a meaning of insult, but I just don't know. It seems to be an ever-changing environment. So their work with the rainbow community has garnered them recognition. As a result of that, the NAACP gave this award to them, and I want to let us look at this if we can. I want to give it a shot. There you go. And it should be coming on right behind us. And what I want to do is allow you to listen.
We know it takes a village, it takes a community. We stand up here today as two people who have worked tirelessly to have resources and access. As two people willing to use our microphones for what we believe and what other families are going through. I'm intentional when I use my platform. A recognize what I've been given, and it is my job to uplift the voices of others and share my access and resources. I want to take this moment.
Now, first thing he says is him using his platform. Okay. Now, I understand that his platform is a global one, and it's definitely whatever he chooses to use his platform for. And he's chosen to use his platform in this particular way. Now, are there other things that he could have used this platform for? Definitely. Has Dwayne Wade been active in other areas of voicing his opinion or assisting in other ways? I can't recollect that he has, and I get it, because sometimes when you find your voice, it's most likely in an area that affects you personally first, and because of that, this particular area is something that affects him, because it affects his son Zion, who at the age of 11 decided that he wanted to be a girl, and he felt that he was wrongly gendered when he was born, and should have been a girl rather than a boy. And so Dwayne Wade is going to elaborate some things, and I'm going to be talking about those things as we go on, and then after it finishes, we'll continue on. So let's listen to some more. But the bottom line is, there's other things that he could have gotten involved, but he's chosen to get involved in this particular area, as a lot of us do, because it's something that's close to home. Here we go.
Moment to publicly speak to our daughter Zaya. Zaya, as your father, all I've wanted to do is get it right. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken on the public scrutiny. And even though it's not easy, I watched you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world. I admire that you face every day. To say
now, his admiration for his son facing the challenges that I mean, we all face challenges every day. I'm going out for whatever reason, but I guess the challenges that he's talking about has to do with his chosen preference of gender, choosing female over male, and as a result of that, the scrutiny and the scrutiny that it has come with that, and he's saying that he admires his son being going out every day. Now, some of you may have issues with me using the word son, and we're going to elaborate a little bit more as to why I do refer to him as a son as we get further along in this broadcast. So let's continue on. Let's continue to listen to Dwayne Wade.
And that your village is proud of you is an understatement. Thank you for showing me that there's more than just one way to communicate effectively. You taught me that communication with my mouth isn't enough. I have to also communicate with my 2 ears and my 2 eyes. As your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future.
Important statement. He says that he's not to direct his son's future. Well, at 11 years old or younger, you are supposed to. If a child is under the age of being a legal adult, they need what's called parenting. And as a parent, our job is to direct them in the way that they should go. Our job is to keep them out of harm's way. Our job is to do and make decisions for them in their best interest, in the best interest of their safety, in the best interest of their future, in the best interest of their livelihood. We don't put our children in danger. If a child wants to go out by virtue on their own and make decisions, then they're not being parented. They're being coached. And a coach is going to coach them in the way that they want to go, as opposed to in the way that they should go. Parenting and coaching are not the same. A parent is more direct. Okay, a parent's job is more is more intimate. It's more direct and it's more responsible. Okay, a parent takes more of an intricate part in shaping and forming a child, especially if the child is the same gender as you. You are really to be the point person for that gendered child. In other words, for Dwayne Wade, he is to be the point person in the development of Zion's growing up and developing into from a boy to a male and from a male to a man. Let's look at some more.
Our role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, your wishes, your dreams.
A parent does not facilitate. A facilitator allows things to just go the way they go and then jumps in periodically. No, that's not what parents do. I facilitate groups all the time. In my practice, I facilitate groups all the time. And what I see is, in facilitation, you allow things to occur. You allow things to go a certain way. And then when you see things that may not be advantageous, you jump in and you help steer in the direction it should go. Well, that's not what parenting is. Parenting is more involved than that. You don't jump in you just don't let them go whatever way that they want to go and then just jump in periodically. No, you are at the point person right there with your child, making sure that they're doing the things that need to be done and ensuring that they're not in danger or putting themselves at risk. Now, a parent doesn't allow their children to go out and play in traffic, even if the child wants to. Even if the child thinks that that's a fun place, they think that I like that because it gives me a sense of adventure and excitement. No, a parent comes and says, no, that's not what you're going to do. And here's why. This is where a parenting comes in. Parent comes in to tell a child, no, you can't do this. And here's why. Here's why. And here's why it's dangerous to do that. But yet we want to allow children to do whatever it is that they want. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Now, it's important to note, Dwayne Wade is the child's father. Gabrielle Union is the step parent. And I'm not trying to belittle being a step parent, but I will say this. The step parent is not the parent. I'll say that again. The step parent is not the biological parent. And from things that I've heard, Zion's biological mother does not like the direction that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union has taken with her son. Now, I believe that she should have more influence, should have more to say about her son than Gabrielle Union does. But for some reason, I get it. Dwayne Wade is married to Gabrielle Union, but Gabrielle Union is not the parent. Is not the parent. Now, if the mother was up there along with these two, then that would say that there is a united front. But there is none. The mother has an issue with how the parenting of Zion is taking place. Now, why is this important? You may say, well, what does this have to do with anything? It has everything to do with what we're going through in our community, culture, and clan as people of color. What we've got to understand is the importance of us sustaining ourselves as a race of people. And if our sons feel like they're daughters, or feel like they're females, or feel like they're girls, or feel like they're women because of a lack of male development, mentorship, fathering, in their lives, and an imbalance of femininity or feminism in their lives, they will make uninformed, unbalanced decisions relative to their lives. In the case of Dwayne Wade was out playing basketball in the formative years of his son, and not presenting an example of masculinity that that Zion needed. And as a result of that, he continued to be under the influence of feminism, a culture that is dominated by feminism, that looks to denigrate and desecrate and do away with the masculine gender, or I should say masculinity. And as a result of that, believe me, he chose, because everyone makes choices, to follow the traits that were presented before him culturally, in his family, in his community. And as a result, he began to take on the traits that we're now seeing. This not just happens to Zion, it happens to many other people as well. And so what we've got to understand is the responsibility of shaping our sons is the responsibility of the father. Masculine to masculine. Masculinity showing masculinity. What masculine looks like, operates, and functions in this our community, culture, and clan. And an example of that is masculinity says, no, this is not something that we do. This is something that we do. And you teach and mentor and show and model for your sons proper mentality, proper cognition, proper behavior, proper emotion, proper psychological psychological frameworks. These are the things that a father is supposed to model and mentor in his son, to shape him and inform him. Now, sometimes this doesn't happen for a myriad of different reasons. Maybe the father is not in the home. And in Dwayne Wade's case, he was not. He was not in the home. Let me get rid of this.
Zaya, you made me a better human just simply by being who you were born to be. Our baby girl, Zaya Wade.
Zaya,
so baby, thank you for
was not born
what courage looks like.
To be.
I'm proud that I was chosen to stand in place as your father.
A girl.
And thank you so much.
This is what her father believes, because I believe he's been influenced by, let me get my thing together here, and let's get rid of this.
Thank you, Derek, and the NAACP.
Let's get rid of this.
It's humbling to stand here,
let's see if we can get
surrounded
rid of
by
this.
friends.
Let's get rid of a lot of this stuff here. We got a lot going on here now. I told you we're going to try some things different. And we are. But we're going to get it together. Okay, we're going to get it together. And there you go. So here we go. Okay. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, because I think it's very important that we understand what's going on in our community, culture, and clan. It's important that we understand that fathers, you play an important role in the lives of your sons. You play an important role in the lives of your sons. It's your responsibility to rear your sons, not your wife, not the mother. It's your responsibility as a father to show your sons what malehood looks like, what manhood looks like. That's our job as men. And if we're not doing that, then however our sons turn out is a direct responsibility or direct result of our lack of showing forth proper fatherhood or parenting skills. Now, when we start talking about, I've been asked questions about, well, what about when Dwayne Wade wasn't there and there were certain aspects of the development that was needed from a man that wasn't able to be given because he wasn't there? Well, that's his fault. That's Dwayne Wade's fault. It's Dwayne Wade's fault for not being there and not bringing up his child or having his child with him in order for him to help bring up his child in a way that the child needed to go. Whose fault is it? Dwayne Wade's. But at the same token, it's not only his fault. Well, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it right there, Dwayne Wade. But the bottom line is we see a man who is not actually, we see a male who has failed to develop into manhood himself. If we look at the relationship between Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, I would say that without a shadow of a doubt, Gabrielle Union exhibits masculine traits. Without a shadow of a doubt, she exhibits masculine traits. And without a shadow of a doubt, Dwayne Wade exhibits feminine traits. Now, we can get into that and how that happens, and we're going to do that in another video, but trust me, that's what's happening. And there's other hidden agendas that is driving this whole agenda. That's with the Wade and Gabrielle Union being used as a touch point for another agenda, and that is to diminish the multiplication and the increase of the color of people of color, and us having multiplying our seeds. And it's damning. And if you look at what's happening culturally, you'll see that other culture have passed the Black culture in the increasing of numbers. Blacks are not marrying. Blacks are not having children. And that's what's happening to our culture. And it's intentional. It's a directed ploy. And so what we've got to understand is the importance of family, the importance of proper rearing of our children and being there, even if the relationships that don't work. Now, here's something I think that's important to talk about. And that is sometimes relationships don't work. And the reason is because when we look at relationships, first of all, women, females, control sex. They choose who they want to have sex with. If they don't, and a man forces, that's called, we know, it's a violation. It's a crime. It's called rape. And that's a crime punishable by prosecution and jail time. But when a woman or a female chooses to have sex with someone, they're saying that they open themselves in every way that possible as a feminine being and welcoming that particular individual. Now, so when a female or a woman chooses to have sex, she's choosing the results that come along with that if the proper steps are not taken. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. If you have unprotected sex, there's going to be a child eventually, or right away. There's no there's no time. We know that there's no time cycle that says when that's going to happen. It can happen first time, and it may not. But the bottom line is, all things being equal, sooner or later, that's what's going to happen, right? So it becomes very important for us to understand that for us being grown people, it's important that we take responsibility. Ladies, it's important for you to take responsibility for who you have sex with. Because whoever you have sex with, you be intimate with, the outcome is going to have more effect on you than it is on that other individual. And we know that. You should know that better than anyone by looking around in your community and seeing the devastation and seeing what's happening as a result of not protecting yourself. Some females will say it's the man's responsibility. Well, I would say that it is a mutual responsibility. But I would say the effects of it is more on the female than it is on the male, because males have been known to walk away. And then it's all on the female. And so when we talk about sex, intimacy, the woman is responsible for it. Now, when it comes to relationship, choosing who you will be with, that's the man's responsibility. Because a woman can, or a female can have sex, and a man could choose not to be with her. That's why it's important for the female or the woman to understand who she's giving herself to. What type of person that he is. Is he a man, or is he a male, or is he still a boy? Is he a visionary? Does he have a plan for his life? Does he have a goal? What does he want? What is he going? Is he already working toward that? And how is he doing that? So it becomes on you, ladies, to find these things out before you give yourself to an individual. Now, guys, when it comes to relationship, it's your responsibility to decide who you pick, right? It's your responsibility who you pick. And if you don't, and when you choose to get down on one knee and to present a ring of significant carriage and to ask for her hand in marriage, in the presence of those that are significant to you both, you're saying certain things. You have to know what you're saying when you get on your knee. So men are responsible for relationship. I've seen on some of the social media platforms, I've seen this new fad where females are getting on one knee and proposing to men. And most people would agree that it doesn't look right. You know why? Because it definitely goes against the universal principle of man controlling relationship. Man controlling relationship. If a man doesn't control relationship, he has to understand the ramifications of that. He will never be a man if he doesn't control the relationship from the outset. If he's not a man initiating it from the outset, because that's what masculine does. It initiates. It penetrates. It pierces, right? We've talked about this in other videos. So in a relationship is pierced, is initiated by masculinity, and not by femininity. Okay. So when So if a man is responsible for a relationship, he's also responsible for guiding the relationships under the auspices of family. He's also responsible for ensuring that the mother guides, guards, and directs the daughter, and he guides, guards, and directs his sons to ensure that femininity and masculinity is being developed in both or all their children. Okay? So it becomes important. But what we're seeing here now in our community, culture, and clan is the focus and a de-emphasis on parental roles in guarding, guiding, and directing the development of our children. It's called parenting. And when our children are not properly guided, the community, the culture will raise them for you, and you won't recognize your children sooner or later. So it becomes of great necessity that a man raise his sons and a woman raises her daughters. Now, what we've got to realize is not all parents are men or women. Some of these parents are males and females. Now, what's the difference? Well, a male and a female has not matriculated through mental, cognitive, psychological, emotional, spiritual, not so much spiritual, but physiological, philosophical, and to name a few areas in their lives. And in order to do that, you matriculate as you grow and develop into manhood and womanhood. And many have not. Many have not. And so our children are reared through the window and through the prism of their parents' malehoodness or their parents' femalehoodness or their under or undeveloped masculinity or femininity. It hasn't fully been developed. There's stages, and we talk about it in some of my other videos. So it becomes of great importance that you understand the importance of you properly raising your children. First, getting development yourself. You have to develop yourself. You have to develop yourself in order to properly see to and develop your children. Your children will make decisions, but they will make those decisions based off of how you raise them. If you raise them, you can rest assured that they will make proper decisions as they grow up. Sure, they're going to make mistakes. You did, but you've got to trust what you've placed in them. You've got to trust how you reared them, because however the child was raised, they're going to eventually, that's what's going to guide them. That's what's going to guide them. So you bring them up the way that they're supposed to operate and function. They're not going to go away from it. It's going to be as much a part of them as anything else, and it'll help guide them to make the choices that they need to make. But as a parent, you've got to be able to do that by being a responsible, mature, and stable parent yourself, individual, male or female, or I should say, man or woman. Okay. So we're going to continue along this mode. There's some other areas I want to talk about, but I wanted to hit on the piece of Dwayne Wade. The reason why I'm not concentrating so much on Gabrielle Union is because Gabrielle Union is not the biological mother. She does not have the right nor responsibility to raise that child. It's not her responsibility. It's the mother and the father's responsibility. Okay. Well, thank you for coming in and being with me for this session. And you know, it's been a while, but we have to get busy again about these topics because of what's happening in our community, culture, and clan. Please help me out by subscribing, liking, sharing, and hitting the notification bell. And you can see our contact information, including our website, our email address, just tickering underneath. It should be tickering underneath. I think what we got is the wrong thing. Let me get something else here for you. We got a title and Surviving Single Man Parenthood. See, that's not even the right title, but we're going to get there. This is what we should have been showing all along, not that title, because that's an old video title. But here's the thing. You can contact us through those means that you see tickering underneath your the page. And Dwayne Wade really is surviving single parenthood as a man, because he's really the one responsible for raising his son. The son has a stepmother, but that is not his mother. But we've talked about that. So we're going to come back. We're going to do some more of this. So I really am appreciative. Really am appreciative you coming in and spending this time with me. And I'm hoping that you'll continue to do that. Continue to come back and spend more time with us as we continue to talk about the things that need to be talked about relative to our community, culture, and clan. So until the next time we come together, this is Dr. G. Alpha Palmer saying peace.